Just gone 8 o'clock on the Wednesday edition of the South African Morning. Good to have you with us. Welcome to the last hour of the show. We continue our coverage of the humanitarian crisis that is taking place in Eastern Europe. Almost 2 weeks now, since, in fact more, since the Russian military invaded Ukraine on what it's called a special operation. Millions of people from Ukraine continue fleeing to neighboring countries. Many of them are now flocking to the Polish border, and that's where we find eNCA. Siphamandla Goge joining us from a village in Poland. It's near the Ukraine border. We had Siphamandla with us a moment ago. I'm not sure if there is now an audio issue through to Siphamandla. Siphamandla, if you are able to hear me, how are we looking where you are this morning?
Thousands of refugees continue to flock into Poland. Another day and more arrivals coming into Poland. People have fled the Ukraine. According to the official statistics from the United Nations, about 3 million people now have fled the Ukraine, and 1.8 million of those have made their way into Poland. In terms of statistics confirmed by the United Nations and the Polish authorities yesterday, that figure and that number stands at 1.8 million, and Romania has also received 453,000 people from Ukraine. Republic of Moldova receiving 337,000 people who have fled the Ukraine. Countries such as Hungary, Slovakia, as well as Belarus have also welcomed refugees. Russia has welcomed 142,000 people that have fled the Ukraine. Here in Poland, more shopping centers and more supermarkets are being converted into refugee centers, humanitarian aid centers. Joe Komane will show you this center behind me has been basically allocated to people who are arriving every hour here from the Medica border, which is about 28 kilometers from where we are. Authorities say that Medica border receives about 35,000 people per day crossing into Poland, and those that have come here have said that their journeys were very long, very cold, and they say their livelihoods have been destroyed. About 95% of those who are crossing the borders to Poland are women and children, as men and those who are 18 years and older, between 18 and 60, they are not allowed to leave the Ukraine. They have to stay behind and fight. Let's take a listen to one of those who was able to make this journey, explaining how difficult it was for her to make it through.
I pray that Russian people, Russian soldiers, officers, they open their eyes and make their hand up and to take from the down and to make some stopping these terrible things, this war.
Siphamandla, as we continue to hear from those who've managed to get out of Ukraine into Poland now, tell us more about how they're trying to cope with this. Of course, we understand that prayer becoming what is a lot of people turning to now to try and help them through this tragedy.
That's a very common story. You know, people tell you that it's been difficult to leave their relatives and loved ones behind, and they are not sure whether they will be able to go back home and see their loved ones. I've spotted some ladies who were able to flee the Ukraine. Let me just find out from them how difficult it was for them to leave. Hello, how are you? Thank you very much for your time. Which countries are you from?
Ukraine. From Ukraine.
Okay. Let's talk about you leaving Ukraine. How difficult was it for you? How many days did it take you to leave?
It's in Ukraine. It's very difficult situation. People must search another home with pets. It's very difficult.
Did you leave behind your relatives, your brothers, your fathers? Because most of those who have traveled are only women and children.
Here are with my friends and his sisters and with my mother. My brother stay home and volunteers.
They are fighting? your brother is fighting back home?
No, he's volunteers.
Okay, volunteer. Okay, let's talk about your journey. Was it difficult to make it to Poland? How was it?
We are on the road for 24 hours for now, but we have 30 more. And yeah, it's quite difficult, but not like physical, more like psychologist mentally. It's hard to leave your country, your homeland.
What do you need the most? What is it that you need? Is it accommodation? Is it medical supplies? What is it that you need right now, urgently?
Right now I need my, family and support. We have a place to stay, we have a lot of volunteers that help us and we thank them a lot. That's why we have food, water, and also we will have place to live.
So are you planning on staying here in Shemesha or you will be going to other cities?
We're gonna travel abroad again to France.
Are you hoping to go back home anytime soon? Do you hope that you will be able to go back home?
Yes.
How is it like to leave your homes when you hear bombardment going on, you hear aeroplanes flying all over? How was that experience for you?
It was really frightful and that my heart is broken, but it's more frightful when you wake up in the middle of the night because of siren, of maybe bombarding. That's why we're here.
How old are all of you?
16 and 23.
16 and 23. Yeah. Okay. So it means you still go to school and your school lives have been disrupted?
Yes, as a student in other country we have opportunity to go to school, and for adults there are also opportunity or obligation to go to work.
I saw many people arriving here, they will bring in one suitcase only. What did you pack there? It's cold in your region, but you only arrive with one suitcase. It must be difficult to choose what to pack.
Also maybe only necessities like not cold clothes, also documents, and maybe some money, but just for a few days, I guess.
Okay. So you say from here you plan to go to France?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. All the best to you. Well, those are some of the people, young people between 16 and 23. They say they were able to make it out of the Ukraine from here. They plan to travel onwards to France, and that's where they hope to find some accommodation and shelter. That is common with the call that has been made by Polish authorities to ask other European countries and neighboring countries to open up their borders and their citizens to open up their homes to welcome more refugees from the Ukraine, because Poland is not coping with the influx. They are running out of public spaces to accommodate the new arrivals every day. As we take it back to you in Johannesburg.
The family tragedy that millions and millions of Ukrainians now going through, having to leave brothers and husbands and fathers behind as they try and make their way all the way to France. These young women with just one suitcase and a bit of money, which they're hoping is going to last them until they can find their way to France. Siphamandla Goge and our team over in Eastern Europe, currently in Poland. We're back to you again later in the day.